Hello, good eventide, and welcome once again to our adventure into Middle-earth. I'm Lore Master Loris, and if you're wondering, wait a minute, this is the D&D group. Yep, usually, but today I'm jumping in. One of our players, of course, is the Dungeon Master, Kenneth, alias Yorith.
Hello.
We have a few other voices you might recognize if you've been tuning into our D&D adventures. We have, you know him as Freon, but here we have a Fulgrim, the Rohirrim warrior and knight.
Hello.
And we also have Inga. Inga is a young woman, but she carries a very sharp and large blade.
Hi.
As I mentioned before, I'm Brian. This evening I'm Lore Master Loris, and when we last left our group of adventurers here in Middle-earth, they had just met up and also gotten rid of some bandits. They are still looking for either signs of some they don't know quite what it is, but
Creatures.
it's some kind of creatures that have been not just devouring, but more or less sucking the blood dry of poor animals from the forest, but also animals that have been stolen from not Farmer Harry. Oh Lord. Been some time. From one of our farmers from Hayward. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Yoris. Thank you very much. Yeah, for Farmer Hayward's from Farmer Hayward's farm, and as Harry Talltree, who you met, the forester of the woods near Bree and up by Archet, and he kind of helped you get on the right path, and now you're getting deeper and deeper into the woods outside of Bree, and that's where, yes, you overheard some small creatures discussing and fighting about. It sounds like they were fighting about how to grill or how to eat a plump squirrel, but you ignored these and left them where they were, and probably those are not the dangerous creatures that you're looking for. And so now we take you back into the adventure, probably our final episode today, called Shady Encounters and Dark Endings. So you are now deep in the woods, and you see more and more now scattered remains, bones, bloody furs, patches of smaller dropped pools of blood which don't look that old yet. It's not all brown and dry. Some of it is still pretty fresh. So this proves that you are definitely getting closer to whatever has been causing this terrible havoc. It seems to have slightly started to rain again, but the woods are so heavy that only occasional droplets seem to reach you, and the air also is getting heavy and kind of a musty feeling to it. You walk for about another hour, and you feel kind of tired and decide to rest. By the way, because we were talking about this before we went online, you all are, I believe, rested. I don't think anybody is missing too many hit points, because I don't think the bandits really done much damage to you.
No, I'm good.
Did they touch us at all?
I don't think so.
I was
no.
wondering because I didn't deduct any hit points at all. So
Yeah, no.
Either.
Very good.
They kept missing over and over.
Yeah, because they were dead. Yeah, I had really crappy dice. I remember. Yeah. Well, while you're resting, your back's up against the trees, and maybe take off a ration or two, and getting your strength back. You're all the time you're pestered by little flies, kind of like gnats, and they're here in Breeland. They're called midges, and you probably since those midges are there, you probably are closing in towards the infamous Midgewater Marches. If you continue on your path, it seems now to become more and more stony, and after a while, it reaches a narrow cleft in the forest, and it leads through a massy and stony pass. Probably from the feeling here, if you remember, I believe one of you got a compass or a magical needle showing you which way is north. I don't remember if it did
yes.
Inga or somebody.
Yeah, I
had
think
it.
Inga got
Inga
that.
or Yorith had it. So if you, or it could be Yorith also as the ranger.
I think so, yeah. Might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
So,
Oh wait, no, I also have a compass. You're right.
oh, okay.
You have a
Yeah. So if
compass.
yeah, looking at it, you can definitely find out that you're heading eastward. That means, if you remember correctly, you're heading towards these Midgewater Marshes, and probably because of these gnats and flies, you're getting closer. So the path leads downward or backwards for where you come. What do you want to do?
So which direction is the needle showing right now?
The needle at the moment is showing where the path is going to kind of a northeasterly direction.
And the path?
The path is stony. It looks like it has been used, trodden on. It seems to be a path which people do use if they head. I guess some people have to go to the marshes every once in a while, or head past there or somewhere. But every once in a while, if you walk not really on the path but near the path, you do see a little spatch of blood here, a trampled. The ranger Yorith, of course.
Yeah, I was about to ask if there's like
Yeah.
a way to maybe look around for. If we
Yeah,
find
sure. Why don't you roll? I think perception is the best for Yorith.
+5. That's a 19.
Wow. Well, you definitely see that around you, and probably also Fulgrim as a Rohirrim knight and warrior who's used to seeing how blades of grasses are bent or something like that when somebody either trads through the undergrowth or something. So something has been coming through here and not using the path. So it's kind of parallel to the path, and but every once in a while you'll see either a rest of could be a pelt, something, or maybe some of the underbrush or the fern has some blood on it. So either something has been dragged through here, which was bloody, or something was even maybe just slaughtered right there, and the blood took in with it. So every once in a while you see signs of this carnage which has been going on.
Yoris, you have knowledge about woods and tracks. What do you make of that?
I think we might have stumbled upon the outskirts of this creature's lair, perhaps. Do we see like any kind of like concentration of these like bits and pieces of blood and fur in like a certain direction?
Yeah, the direction goes away from the path to the left of you. You can see like whatever tramped through the underbrush and probably dragged either something with it which was bleeding or still bloody, and away from the path. If you would continue the path, it would bear off eastward, probably from the feeling you get towards the Midgewater Marshes or directly to the marshes.
Okay, but
And
it's like still solid.
The
past
path is a solid path, but these the signs of where something has been walked through, it looks like probably at least one or two, maybe even more creatures have passed through here and left this bloody trail. And from the walking wise, they're definitely, if you have a look at it, these are no rangers, definitely not elves or anything. The creatures who they're trampling through the forest. They don't care.
Definitely
You know, they're
seems
just
like a pack.
yeah.
Can
So
you
it looks
can you
like-
make out any tracks, Yorith?
Well, it seems that we're looking at these bits and pieces here and there. This pack might have been traversing across the road, not alongside it. So we might have to leave the road in, what was it, an eastern direction?
Well, that
Following-
would be if you leave the road, the path goes to the east, then you would probably go to a northwesterly direction.
northwest
so not-
to, if we want to
yeah.
follow the, like,
The path, the signs.
yeah, the signs, basically.
But are there any like footprints or anything like that? Or is it only that we can see those like
You want?
piles
look?
of?
Do you want to
Yeah.
look again? Since I think you would also recognize it as a Rohirrim. Do you want to use your?
I'm
use
gonna
your
have a
perception?
look.
Yeah.
Yep. That's hang on. That's 9 plus 3, 12.
A 12. Yeah, with the 12, you see that you recognize this from the grasslands of Rohan when horses, or especially maybe younger horses, run through the grass or run unhindered through just through brush or something. You see that the way that these the grass and the ferns and the smaller bushes are trampled down, whatever came through here was probably of a wild nature, probably a beast of some kind. You can't really make out if it's on a 4 or if it's a 2-legged one, but whatever came through here didn't go quietly. You know, it just ran through there, and you also recognize it by seeing the splats of fur and whatever blood, and also smaller pieces of meat and bone, which they were dragging something through here, whatever.
Well, it
there
seems
was.
that whatever went through here either was hurt pretty badly or something was struggling, and by the amount of different tracks, it seems, like I've said before, it seems like this was a pack of some kind. Maybe they went along ahead here with their prey, and we should follow. It might lead us to its lair.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here, right?
To kill some beast, right, Inga?
We're looking for orcs and goblins. That's what's supposed to do all this.
Yes, like I said, traveling in packs.
So are you going to continue the path towards the marshes, or are you going to go through the underbrush and follow the
I would say through
bloody
the underbrush, follow
through the
bloody
underbrush.
tracks.
Yeah.
bloody tracks? Okay.
No
Well, you-
need to do some
You
vacation.
yeah,
in the
you
marshes.
leave the path. It's still early enough in the day. You know, it's not getting dark or anything. So you pretty well can follow this through, and it's the blood lessens after a while, and it seems after you get a little bit through the underbrush, after maybe about 10 or 15 minutes of walking, you come on something that the underbrush is lesser, and it seems to get into kind of a stony ground, and you can see that whatever came through here also dragged stuff through the rocks and through this kind of a mossy, stony ground, and you come to an opening, which to the one side is just the forest where you came through, and the other side leads down into a small ravine, or like a small canyon. The ground is covered in dusty slabs of loose stone and rock splinters, which means if you head down there, you might be wary maybe not to tread wrong, and not that you tread off a small avalanche or something.
But are there signs that whatever we're
There are signs that
following lead down
whatever came through there headed down towards this ravine. So at the moment it's just like a slope, and if you continue down, then you You might see more.
How good are your climbing skills, my dears?
It's not that steep. You can
Adequate,
walk
I
down.
would say.
I still ask.
It's a slope. It's not like a. You're not standing on a canyon. It's just like the slope.
How sure-footed are you then?
Yeah, like a sledding hill.
I think it's adequate to get down that little slope, but I think we should try and be as quiet as possible.
Could prove difficult. And I clunk with my armor.
Should we maybe use a rope? Perhaps maybe just in helping us get down there? I'm looking at like the little lady in her armor, who's pretty heavy, I would assume. And if you don't
Oh,
want
I'm
to-
fine.
Fat little lady.
I think I will be fine. I will be loud, probably. So, no stealthing with me.
Well, maybe then you should go last.
That's a good
And let
idea.
us secure whatever we find down there.
Would it make sense that one of us stays on top and sort of moves along the edge?
That might be a good idea. I could maybe support you in case anything happens with my archery.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a sure shot and could try to keep an overview from up here while you guys rappel down.
Okay. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's try that. Inga, what do you think?
I'm supposed to come down with you, right?
Yes.
Or am I
yes.
the ones who's supposed to be up here?
No,
I'm staying
you're
up
coming
first.
down. Or do
Okay,
you...
okay.
One
Yeah,
way or another.
I think your sword might become in handy.
So
Sure.
if you look down this slope, like I said, it's more of like a little bit of a rocky slope. It's maybe some slate and here and there twigs and branches. Not too much greenery because, like I said, it looks like it's heading down towards kind of like a small ravine. And if you look down, Yorith, while you get your bow ready, you see it looks like an opening in this ravine, which looks like a small canyon, not just something where you could walk through. And you see that to the right and the left of this opening, you can't see it from where you're standing, even with your good ranger sight, but something is hanging there on left and right of you. You see a dark shadow, which seems to be something is pinned there to the left and to the right of this opening. But that's where the slope ends. If you go down there, so you can, you're in bow shot, so you could whatever you want to do, you can see them go down there. But
Are
that's
those
what you're
markings
saying.
trophies? A warning, perhaps? What do you see?
Are they going down?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you already there? Then let me show you. So you're standing in front of the opening, and let me add this here into the slanted dice war room for you to see. Maybe, Ken, if you see that, it's
I got it, yeah.
it looks like you see, it looks like a large on each side. It looks like a large, it could be leather, and it's like a flag, a very crudely made flag. And if you look in the middle, it looks like it's an opening, an entrance to this small ravine. You could only pass single file if you would want to go through because it's a small opening. And to the left and the right of this entrance are these crudely painted leather flags depicting a large red spider. So you have a spider flag. Well, whoever made it is not really a big artist, and especially it's made on leather, which it does remind you of something orcish or goblin-y because it's let's see what animal we can make leather out of, and then we'll just smear some of our symbols on it. So there's two two flags, which are hanging there to the left or the right of these of this opening.
Inga, have you ever seen that symbol before?
No, have I? I don't think so.
You could do a history check if anybody of you is good in history.
Oh yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I probably don't see it from upstairs though.
Oh
still
no, I'm not good
gonna
in
wait.
history. Am I?
I'm gonna wait a
Oh
bit.
yes, I have my virtue.
Okay.
Which is old songs and children's tales, which grants me advantage on an ability check for history, insight, investigation, lore, medicine,
Okay.
nature, performance, blah blah blah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Everything.
use that.
Yeah. History sounds good. Okay. Then you want to do a history check.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have to roll for that kind of thing? Or...
It's a natural 20.
Well, perfect. Well, perfect. The historical Rohirrim in you recognizes this flag or this leathery flag as a sign of one of the orc tribes which have known to have come from Kirith Ungol, from the Spider's Pass, and the tower there, which is I'm not too quite sure if it's known yet as Minas. Well, yeah, it is. Minas Morgul still already exists in this time, yeah, as Minas Morgul, and these orcs would also use this as the sign of the spider as the Spider's Pass, and on the flag, which you first thought were just like other parts of the spider's legs or something, but you recognize this, being so proficient in history. You recognize it, that this is more of written. It's not in the black speech, but it's common runes, and if you piece them together, it reads Burzum Zag. Now, does any one of you? I mean, okay, put it this way: with a natural 20, you probably also can read a little bit into the spider's thing. So Burzum Zag means those who wander in darkness, or the path to darkness. So you got two orcish spider flags hanging there, saying that, hey, this is the path to darkness. Yeah, and whatever went through there seems to also have gone through that ravine.
Is it safe to come down?
Sure.
Pardon? Oh.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I'll wave to Yorath.
Yeah.
Then I will join them as well.
Yeah. You also see that the spider, it has been crudely made, and also crudely made to hang there, probably on a leather thong, and just on a, just someone took an old a shard or a rock or a twig or something, and just, instead of a nail, and just hung it there. So it's hanging there on the side of the wall, both of them on this wall to the ravine.
Yeah, I'll share my knowledge about the flags with the other two, of course. It's kind of odd that some orcs from far east are here in Breeland, isn't it?
From east, you say?
Yes, those signs.
With your one more thing I might add with your history check, which you of course know, being from Rohan, Fulgrim, is that the neighbor of Rohan, Saruman, he's been having more and more. Somehow that's something which also King Thangol doesn't really like, but he seems to also have orcs and goblins in his armies. He has northern men, but also
Company.
orcs in his company. So probably whoever sent them to him or something. That's why maybe this is something that might be coming from that corner, from Isengard.
This is very troubling to see here.
Do you recognize these particular markings?
Yes, they're from an Orcish tribe from Far East, Minas Morgul. Have you heard of that?
I mean, I think so, but isn't Inga from northeast somewhere? Have you seen this before?
No, I don't think I ever saw
Inga
something
is
like
from Lake Town. No, what's Inga from? No, from the Bardings. That's
that. Yeah,
from Lake Town. Yeah. Inga might have heard stories of the times of her parents from the Battle of the Five Armies, that there were orcs and goblins there that also had all kinds of different flags, because these orcish tribes, or back then they were just called goblins. Goblins were sent to fight in the Battle of the Five Armies, and maybe she might know that this is for orcs from or goblin sign. She could know that. But it's definitely the sign, so you definitely know this is signs of goblins, of orcs that have hung up these flags. To the left and to the right of this
definitely seems
entrance.
that we're on the outskirts then. Or at least on the right path.
It's the only way going further.
Let's
So
hunt ourselves some orc, shall we? And I would like
yes,
to
let's
continue.
continue.
So like I said, you can only go through single file.
Oh yeah.
Because it's very thing. Are you?
Well, if nobody's stopping me, I would go first.
Yeah. Are you gonna do any more? Anybody else gonna look at something, or I don't know?
I'm gonna take out my sword, just in case.
Okay. Okay.
I have my bow still, and
Okay.
I would go first then,
Have
unless
my bow.
somebody
Have my axe.
somebody says no, don't go.
Okay. So you are going to enter first, Yoreth, followed by Inga, and then
I want to keep an eye out though for any orcish booby traps or something like that.
So you are looking for booby traps.
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
If
So
I'm
you're not
going
just-
first, then yes.
You're not just walking into the. Here we go. We're gonna go through this ravine.
Yeah. No,
So then I need you to. Is that perception, or what would you be searching for traps for?
probably.
Investigation, I think.
Investigation, then, yeah.
Yeah, I only have a +1 on investigation.
Well, then,
That's fine. Investigation.
Okay.
Here we go. That's an 18 still.
18. And +1, you said?
No, it's a 17 + 1, 18.
17 +1. That's enough. That's enough, because before you go inward, you see these flags are kind of like waving a little bit in the wind or something, and you see that behind them it seems to be like a twig or something, which the left one has kind of like a twig or a root, almost looks like a handle, which is just stuck in there, and the right one has the same. So the left and the right, underneath these flags, you see it looks like I wonder if I can pull out this twig.
Yeah, then
It's like a wooden handle.
stops after going like one step.
Okay.
And I point both of them out to the others. And I would say, do you think this is some kind of doorbell we should probably ring before entering? Maybe at the same time.
You think here could be traps Are orcs that smart?
Sadly, they can be very smart. If they work together. However, I get the feeling that maybe these particular levers or twigs might be some way to disarm something that we would otherwise just be walking into. But
I mean,
that's
sure,
just the
can't
ranger and me
hurt.
talking. If you prefer to just walk, then take my spot and I will go last.
No, let's pull the funny looking things.
Okay, then I would pull both of them like together with Inga at the same time.
The same time, so you're gonna.
1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so both the same time. So you're left to Inga's right, or it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You both pull on the lever, and you hear kind of a grinding sound. And it seems that you're standing on the left one. It seems that you see from the top a few small stones, pebbles, some slate, and some dust coming down, so it looks like the beginning of an avalanche. But since Inga also pulled at the same time, it also sounds like it's grinding to a stop, as if maybe a wooden plank or something else kind of stopped the oncoming avalanche. And that way you definitely have unsprung the trap, which was an avalanche trap. If you would have
Like
walked
rubble
in,
and dirt, basically.
yeah, if you would have walked in, you would have had to make a DC 15 strength saving throw against bludgeoning damage. But you found the trap. You sprung the trap without it being sprung, and that way, yes, now it's safe to continue on. It seems. So there's nothing more falling down
Okay.
into this. You can look through. By the way, you can look through. It's like maybe, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 feet. It's not really that much of a. It seems to be really something that has been put up that if someone comes through, they can spring an avalanche and trap on that, and and then whatever.
I
So
think it's safe to continue then.
yeah.
Then I'll go ahead.
Yeah, the dust settles. You don't hear anything else happening, and so you can walk through. Yeah.
Thinking
Okay,
you're
so the three of you in the thing, you pass through unscathed, come out on the other side, and as you turn around, you can look and see that slanting. It's definitely, man-made or goblin-made. Definitely not a natural thing, and it looks like there's a path which is going up from the other side where it looks like you can always fill in more rocks and something. So this is definitely a man-made trap to catch someone unaware who's going through there. So, but yeah, it has been sprung and locked, so that should be no problem. Also, if you have to come through the same way, that should be no problem.
Need some time to reset.
Yeah.
There's a cooldown on it.
Yeah. Spread. You come through, and there's it seems to continue slope down, and now you can see that here once again there's more and more strewn. Looks like whatever has been. Looks like almost you're coming towards something like maybe this is where they've been collecting these things, because there's some dry fur here, there's dry blood, then there's fresh blood, and once again you take up the track which goes once again through underbrush, and you see it continues just like when you started out to find it, and continues on for a while if you want, and that's the only way really to follow. So you'd have to follow it, you'd have to go through this underbrush again to follow it.
Well, yeah, I guess we continue.
Yes.
Okay. You do continue, and maybe only a few hundred meters away from the ravine, It slowly turns into a swampy but still wooded area, and you come up onto a clump of bushes, and it looks like whatever went through kind of must have gone through these bushes, and you seem to hear harsh voices. But you can't see anything because you're, like I said, there's a clump of bushes.
I would
You'd
like
have-
drop down and then try to like stealthily approach wherever the voices come from to see if we can hear.
Yeah, be as
Make out
quiet as
anything.
possible.
Okay.
Clank, 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 clank,
Stay
clank.
wherever I am.
No, can you, how good are you guys in sneaking or stealth?
Pretty good.
Average.
That's why I'm just saying where I am.
So you're letting the other two kind of sneak in front, and as you're just as small as you are, you're just staying and waiting so that
Just
you
stay in
don't.
the back.
Just duck and watch.
Okay. Okay. So then you stealthily creep near these bushes, and you can look underneath at these. I mean, these typical. I don't know. If it was a nicer area, it'd probably be blueberry bushes or something like that. But it's just kind of weird grasses and ferns. But you can look through there, and you see. I just sent that into the war room. If you want to save this, you see around a small wooded area. Still, like I said, it's still a little bit swampy, but it's a small wooded area, and there seems to be a small fire burning. Around this fire are different small, like piles of things. One thing seems to be fur, other thing seems to be bone. Then there's a kind of like earthenware, but also wooden buckets, which seem to have, at first you think it might be tar, but then looking closer, you can see like little pieces of fur. It's probably blood, which is being collected. And those that are collecting this blood and taking apart these carcasses and things seem to be 3 swamp goblins. And they're sitting around, and if you listen in, you can learn a bit more, because now getting closer, and then you can also understand what they're talking.
Do they
Because they're
speak like in a particular language?
They're talking in a. Now, first of all, does any of you? They're talking in a common tongue, but it's a very rough. It's a very rough common tongue, so you kind of recognize it that these are either goblins which are not from the area, or using the common tongue because they're probably used to speaking the black tongue of Mordor. So they you hear them talking, and they seem to be, and what you at first you don't really understand because they're talking this rough dialect, but you keep hearing things about traps and animals, blood, and worship, and they keep saying the same word over, taller. And you want to continue listening? You want to do another eavesdropping? Continue eavesdropping? One of them gets up, stretches himself. By the way it looks, because he seems to have a helmet which wears that same spider emblem on it, and on the front of his leather armor there's also the sign of the spider. And he stretches and turns around to the others, and you hear him in this kind of almost like a barking voice. He says, "Blood keeps Tola happy, and Tola keeps the searchers from Isengard away from us. We keep him happy, and old Shaku will stop looking for us. Keep Tola fed in blood, boys, and we be free Orcs." One of the looks like a smaller one, which is sitting there and kind of looks like he doesn't want to be doing this work. He's stripping flesh off and squishing bones and getting blood out of these animals and things that you don't even want to guess what they caught. And in kind of a squeaky voice, he says, "I don't like it. It gives me the creeps. Him sitting there, not moving, and just staring down at us with the big old eyes every time we bring him the bloody offerings."
Shut up! Or he'll be offering you up next, you stinking fool. Maybe he'll wriggle a bit more when he gets himself some live meat and some blood still pumping.
And he kind of laughs off. And then the third one says,
Well, what Nikak was saying, shut up! We got it made, you fools. We have our own god now. And make sure that we don't have to go back to the army. Kaku won't send us on patrols, and we don't have to go back to him or back to Mordor and to the race and their eye.
and he kind of laughs and chuckles to himself. And the other two he seems to be like a leader. He seems to be kind of afraid. And they continue stripping, I don't know, bunnies and foxes and whatever, little dogs, puppies, whatever, from their bones and stuff. And they're kind of like collecting. They seem to be draining the blood and collecting the blood, and then stripping the meat to meat and bone to bone and things like that. So yeah, well, that's what you hear and that's what you see. 3 swamp goblins or orcs, which seem to be deserters or something.
Yeah, I was about to turn to Fulgrim and say, sounds like deserters.
Indeed, but what is this tall one they're talking about?
Hola.
We don't see anything like where they are though.
No, you don't see anything. No, that they're talking about Tauler or Tauler, which is
or whatever.
Tauler or something like that.
I would say
the way they're talking, it seems that they think it's a god or something, which they're bringing blood to, and Fulgrim.
The ice cream truck drives past.
Oh, cool. Is that out in thing? Really?
I don't know if you can hear it. It's definitely gonna be on my mic, but
yeah, I do. But is that in Erlangen?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Like daily, he drives past.
Cool. Give me some chocolate, chocolate and vanilla.
I would say
Anyways,
to wait, and maybe they will lead us to this tall or whatever it or he is.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see what Inga is doing? Is she just standing back?
Inga's standing there and waiting for what you guys are doing, because she just sees your 2 butts in the brushes and looking and listening and looking. So she you'd have to probably slowly creep back to her and let her know what's going on. So what I was going to say, Fulgrim, from your history, you remember being from Rohan that Sharku is... You've heard that before, that people or in dealings when you traded horses with Isengard, that's what some of the soldiers or the even orcs and half orcs call their master. They call him Sharku or Sharky, which is, and they mean Saruman. Yeah, they mean Saruman. So they are fleeing from Sharku. That means that these are probably deserters they seem to be orcs that have been sent either from Mordor to work or maybe as a tribute to Saruman, and or the other way around.
This is not a title, but then a nickname for Saruman.
It's
not
like a nickname
they use for any master.
No, they would never call.
Okay.
They would never call their master Sharky or Sharku. Sharku is Orcish for old man. Old man. So it's just like, hey, der Alte. So that's what they call. Yeah. But none of you have ever heard of this Tauler that they're talking of. That's something new. So I need
Should we let Inga know what is going on?
I'm afraid that if we let her know what's going on, she might just charge in and rob us of our chance of staking out wherever these fine gentlemen might take us. But we should probably tell her, yes. So she doesn't feel excluded. Yeah, I would kind of, I don't know, maybe just wave her, like give her a hand signal to stay quiet, but wave her towards us.
Uh-oh.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Clank, clank, clank. Yeah.
Yeah, I slowly try to come over and be stealthy.
Okay, you want to try the a stealth check on that?
Yeah, they told me to
Okay.
come, so I come. And that is a free gentleman.
A what? 3?
A free, yeah.
3.
Yes.
Oh.
It's quite.
I have disadvantage on stealth.
Okay, well, they're
I
not
slip and fall.
No, they're not listening, but let me still. Okay. A natural 1. They don't hear anything.
Nice.
A natural 1. My God. Yeah, nothing. You're fine. You can go close. Clank, clank, clank. They don't care. They're down there. They're talking. You still hear every once in a while, taller, and blood, and sharku, and this. The big one is,
Miraculously, they seem deaf.
Yeah.
I told you I'm not stealthy. I whisper.
Okay. So you want to wait to see what happens?
Yeah,
you said?
we bring her up to speed,
Yeah,
and then
bring
we
her-
would
yeah.
wait to see if they like go feed her this taller or whatever.
Okay. Let me see. Like that. Jeez. No. Well, then I would say, this lead orc or something stretches again and says, "Are you about ready?" And the other 2, well, we got 2 buckets full. You think that's enough for today?
He just got a whole bucket this morning. It should be enough. My God.
No, he doesn't say my God. Good Lord.
Good
Oh
lord.
dear. Oh dear. And he says,
Oh, for the fucking sakes of it, it should be enough. Then bring it along. It's Hodo over there. Get old Taller his 3 pence worth of blood.
and you see him, he's got like a long curved scimitar which he puts on his back, and he kind of grabs into this one bucket which is full of meat and kind of packs it on his arm like he's holding, like he's going to carry that. The other hand, he takes one piece of this raw meat for himself and starts eating it and chewing on it and says,
Come on, you 2. We got work to do if you want to make sure our God is happy.
and stomps on through. And the other 2, they lift up these 2, look like, I don't know, kind of heavy earthware or wooden buckets of blood, and they if they have weapons, then they're probably hidden on the side. You don't see any, maybe side on, and they just kind of waddle behind him with their orcish waddle and head out towards an opening which is on the other side of the encampment, and you hear them walk through the underbrush, and then they're gone.
Well, we sneakily follow.
Yeah.
It only looked like one of them was armed. So even if things turn around, we should be able to defend ourselves.
And I think we should be able to surprise them. If they didn't hear Inga coming, then
That's true,
Yeah.
yes.
I need each of you to do a stealth check because you're sneaking. Or sneaking? Do you have something like sneaking?
No,
I don't know.
that is
Probably the
stealth, yeah.
Rangers probably will good. Probably stealth, yeah.
That's okay, yeah.
So all 3 of you to do a stealth check because you're right behind them.
I have a 12. That wasn't that bad.
12,
16.
14, 16. Okay. Well, you see them off because they're not walking that fast, and the other one keeps turning around. Come on, you two! My God, I got snails and I got orcs with me. And you just kind of keep following, staying back further enough, and they don't seem to notice you. And they come up and around the bend, and continuing on, you kind of see that the road that they're now out of an underbrush, and they come into, it looks like a kind of like a gravel road, like the kind you might find in a wood or something, which people trot past or something. And it seems like, and this road or path, which was probably either made by them or something, leads deeper down into this area. And now you get kind of a whiff of decay, and it doesn't smell very nice here. I mean, walking behind orcs, they don't smell nice anyways, but it seems to be the whole area. And
That's you, Fulgrim.
yeah, and they this is now, it's going to be a little bit harder because you're now walking on kind of like a gravel type road, and you hear them walking, crunching in front of you, and they seem to be heading northward. You can feel, it's easy to follow them because they keep spilling blood, and their leaders keeps dropping smaller pieces of meat, which he's either not eating or didn't want to take
Those are the
with
bits
him.
and pieces we saw before.
Yeah, so you keep
been munching this whole time.
Yeah, they see that. I'm not too sure if this is their type of rationing, or if they really want to feed this taller god or whatever they think. So I need you to do another stealth check now.
Oh wow, that's a natural one.
Ooh. 5.
22.
Okay. 22. I mean,
I stumble over.
Fulgrim, kind of almost like an elf, he jumps from side to side, not making any sound. Inga kind of has like a clankety clank to him,
And I start humming his soundtrack.
and this clanking noise seems to alert one of the goblins then he turns around and kind of looks in your direction, is not too sure. But then when Yorith kind of stumbles over her own bow and falls sprawling, the one in the back drops the bucket and says, "Boss, look, we're being followed." And now I need you to roll for initiative.
Oh boy.
Damn it!
Oh boy.
Because they're still
boy.
a bit off. They did.
That's an 8 for me only.
Okay.
19.
15 for me.
Oh boy. Okay, let me put down. So, what did Inga have?
19.
19. Okay. So it's Inga. Then Fulgrim had
15.
15. Okay. Then the chief had 13. And imp number 1 had 10. What did Yorith have?
An 8.
An 8.
Still need to get up. I'm having mud
You're
splattered in my
8.
face.
Snaga number 2. Only had a 2. So, okay, Inga, even though you stumbled and made noise, it's up to you.
She uses the momentum and just rushes forward.
To use the momentum.
Clink, clink. Ah.
And let's see there. There are about, I'd say they're probably, you can see them, but they're still about maybe, I guess, 40 feet away.
I start screaming and running and pull my sword out.
Okay. How far, how thing do you have? How fast are you?
30 feet.
Okay.
I think I will only go like 20.
Okay.
Like
So you-
slowly start running and not
Keep
go the
screaming.
full speed.
You jog through them, brandishing your blade and crying your barding war call. Okay, Fulgrim.
Yeah, they have seen all of us, right? Not just
Yeah,
the
they seen.
humbling.
No, they saw three. They saw
Ranger.
they don't know how many they are, but they at least they saw three.
Ah, you're
You could turn around and
surrounded.
say, "Okay, army, let's go! Ride now, Rohirrim, ride now!"
With 50 Dunedain archers
Yeah.
pointed at you in the shadows.
It might work, you know. You never know because.
I'll draw my 2 daggers and get
Okay.
a bit closer towards where Inga is going. And
Okay. Also-
as soon as one of the goblins attacks her, I'm gonna try
Okay.
and
So you're
Yeah.
also about
stab him in the face.
20. Okay, so you're probably next to Inga, so about 20 things. So they're only 10 feet away from you guys. Okay. The chief, first of all, has to drops his things of meat, and he's kind of flabbergasted because he sure as hell didn't expect. He's used to having, you know, these Bree folk or maybe a hobbit or two wander off. He's even probably seen this big tall guy, this big forester, but he sure as hell hasn't seen a full-grown Rohirrim warrior, and also this lady in armor and blade, and it looks like one of the famed rangers of the Dunedain, which is now
fighting.
getting
Hang on, man.
getting
Cloak
up
in
and
the
dusting,
mud, in the
dusting itself
background,
up,
and
and
untangling herself.
this is
over the
embarrassing.
so this chief uses his chance to drop what he has and pulls out his scimitar. Does not approach. He goes in kind of a warrior stance, and he says to
Get ready for him, boys! We don't know how many they are, but then again, they don't know how big our army is.
Big mouth. But he does not attack. He goes in kind of a thing. Then I have imp number 1, who's only 10 feet away from Inga, and he also drops down the bucket, spilling half of it over himself, standing in there and fumbling for what looks like a slingshot. It's just a leather thing with the end of a stone, and he can't do anything yet. He's trying to load this slingshot with a rock from the ground, and so he doesn't do much yet. Then we have Yorith.
Yeah, I'm gonna whip away the cloak with the mud on it and get a shot ready at the whoever's like closest to, since Inga is in the front, I assume.
Inga's in the front, which has the imp, which is closest to him, the youngest there, which is him, and closest to you would be the Snaga, which is kind of like a smaller version. The biggest guy is,
Yeah, then
is
I'm
the
gonna
chief up front.
Then I'm gonna shoot at who's ever closest to me.
That would be the Snaga, yeah.
Yeah, the longbow.
Okay. Let me see very fast. I need page 48.
It's a 13 in total.
One moment, I have to get up my monster manual. It's the monster manual for me.
The
Swamp
monster
goblins.
manual.
What do they have? Armor class 15.
Jesus, what are they wearing?
Leather jerkins. boiled leather jerkins from Mordor. So armor class
Nope,
15. What
then
did you have?
I had a 13.
Nope, you didn't make it.
It's like still all of that mud on the arrow, you know.
Yeah.
Just too heavy.
So your arrow just goes close to the other one, and he just kind of jumps back and whoo, kind of not recognizes. Then we're back up to Inga.
Continue screaming and run forward and hit the one in front of me.
Okay, that would be the imp, and he has a. I need a thing. He has a. You need a 13.
I've got a
Armor class.
19.
Perfect. So you hit him.
Oh, and I
What-
can
What
also.
damage do you do?
I'm gonna attack him two-handed
Okay.
because then it's a 1d10. That's 8 damage.
8. Okay. Let me write
Yes,
this
8 damage.
down. 8 damage. Well, you kind of you see how that broadsword of yours just slices through this brittly leather armor and gives him a real good deep cut across the chest, and he lets out a yelp which kind of reminds you of a dog, and jumps back holding his side and looking very angry, but still standing.
Also still screaming.
And still screaming. And so that's still scaring him. Yeah. Is that it? Is that your thing? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Good. Then it comes to the chief. The chief. He has his scimitar, and let's see who's the closest now. It was Inga and Fulgrim. He's going to jump in front with his swarthy legs and kind of aim a blow at Fulgrim with a 3.
Yeah, that
Well,
Continues.
yeah, well, and of course he keeps his big mouth going.
Oh, we got him surrounded, boys. Keep it coming. Keep coming in. Oh, 500 of you. Come on.
And, it's of course nothing else happens. He's just running off his mouth. Okay, then that was the chief. Then the imp turns around to the lady with the broadsword, and my God, 4. What is this? Terrible. Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He's got a.
I parry it with my sword.
Yeah, it's not even worth parrying. He just kind of misses, throws. It's just kind of like a self-made axe out of a piece of wood and a piece of metal. It's not really the best of weapons, but he does not hit you with this axe. Then we have Yorith.
Yes, firing off because there's
So-
nobody
sorry.
in front of me.
I
yeah,
didn't
it's
do
Fulgrim.
anything.
Oh, Fulgrim. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I missed Fulgrim. Of course, it's Fulgrim's turn. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna stab the fat fuck in front of me.
A fat fuck in front of you?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I have 2
Is that-
daggers, so I can attack
Yeah,
twice, right?
Let me see. Is that the chief now in front of you? No, you have
Yeah.
him. The chief, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that
of course
was
he
running
attacked
his
you,
mouth.
yes. Yeah, that was running his mouth, yeah. And
All right.
He has, you need a, I had him
First
down
one doesn't
for-
hit. That's a 6.
Okay. And he has a 15 armor class.
Oh, and the second one is a natural 20.
Oh,
Holy
perfect.
smokes. Nice.
Perfect. Then do what you can do best, and
It's like double the damage, or
Yes.
how did it work? Like
yes, I'd
roll
say double.
twice.
I would
Whatever you
trying to
say, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we played it like you roll double the damage die, and then you
yeah,
add
double the damage. Yeah, do
your
double the
stuff
damage
on
die.
top of it.
Double the
double-
damage die.
Double the damage die. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 400. 6.
And then add all of
Damage.
your stuff onto it.
6 damage. Okay. And
There's.
yeah,
Is there anything?
Your strength usually.
I only have an attack now. I'm attacking with dexterity.
Oh yeah, then dexterity bonus.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so it's... Hang on, what did I say? 6? Plus 3 is a 9.
Because for
Good.
the attack roll, you add your dexterity bonus plus your like proficiency if you're proficient with it, and for the
Yeah.
damage, it's just the normal attribute bonus on top.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Didn't know
you're-
that it's added.
Your weapons definitely puncture this old. It seems as you punctured, it seems like what they're wearing, it seems to be like a boiled leather of some kind. But whatever it is, they have not been taking care of these armor. And these are not weathered soldiers. I mean, you've heard of black orcs from Mordor and something. Which I mean, when they go into battle, I mean they're ready for it. But these guys, they don't seem to have been taking care of their armor. The armor is all, it's falling apart, some of it, and
Made
so
in
it's
Isengard.
yeah, easy for you, easy for you to probably even if you see painted on this thing, they probably maybe they're not even orcs from Mordor. Maybe they stole the symbol. These guys are definitely, no big warriors. So. But you, yes, take very good damage, and you see him, dark blood coming through his fingers as he stumbles back, astonished, and you see maybe in his eyes something which is not disrespect, but probably a little bit of fear.
Yeah, less talking, more bleeding.
Of this Rohirrim warrior. And he does not continue screaming for help or anything. He just kind of steps back. And now we have Inga. We had to. Okay, now did I have the chief already attack? Yes. Then it's the imp's turn. The imp is going to. We said yeah. The imp is standing in front of. Well, I don't believe this. The imp falls down and drops his axe, and it's another natural one. You will not believe this. This is terrible. And
He's just so scared of me.
he's scared, and he tries to run away, and he's going to run away, and you can have a free shot at him.
Yes, I will
Inga.
try to hit him.
Yes.
16.
Perfect. That hits. What is your damage?
Oh, that's only a 1, so 2 damage.
Okay. Well, you kind of stab him in the back or slash across his back, and he yelps up and and he still starts running away towards the where they were heading towards before, and of course the chieftain screaming after, come back, you coward, come back, I'll have your guts for garters. And yeah, that's him. Then the Snaga is closest to Yorith, I believe. A 16 to hit.
Hang on. I think so. Yep. Armor class
Okay.
15.
Oh.
So he's up close now. That means I gotta change weapons.
Yeah, he's up close now, and he's pulled out. It looks like a long, evil knife. It has kind of like nicks in it, and probably also used as a saw.
I get the disgusting weapons that hurt.
Yeah, and so
I
he
hate
uses
orcish
that,
weapons.
and it's kind of dripping with an ichor. You're not too
Tools
sure
of brutality.
what he has used on it, and
Scratched his ass probably or something.
yeah, he does a damage of 5,
Jesus.
but
Christ.
you also should throw a poison
What?
thing, yeah, because it's a poison blade.
Oh boy.
This is when the first character dies.
Yeah, so am I poisoned or do I need to like roll something?
No, you have to roll a what is your
I think
your
it's
poison savings throw?
I think is it a constitution saving throw?
Yes.
That's good. I have +4 on Constitution.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't help me with a 4 though. That's 8.
8, but that's enough. It's enough. It's just a very, very weak poison. You feel a burning sensation,
What?
and it's kind of like it's scratched. It seemed to scratch you more than it really done. One thing like I said, it did do 5 damage, and it's a burning sensation, but you don't feel anything else. I would say just add another 1 damage for probably going to take longer for that wound that scar to heal up. So,
Okay.
together you have 6 damage, which brings us back to Inga because the Snaga.
I need to go
This
still. I didn't like attack. Yet
Shit!
or
I
nothing.
thought you.
No, you said it was my turn, then it was Fulgrim's turn.
Okay,
So
now
I
it's
don't know when I
Yorith's.
come in.
Yeah, I messed up Snaga and Yorith.
Then
Okay, then you can.
I will change
Then
with my
Yorith.
bonus action to my longsword.
Okay.
I will say playtime's over, orc scum. And with 2 weapon, like 2-handed, that's gonna be a total of 14. That's not enough.
That 14's enough.
Oh, I thought because no,
Snaga, no, the chieftain is the thing. The Snaga only has a 13,
Okay,
so that's so 14's enough.
then
And
that's
damage.
only a 2.
Only a 2, nothing
Yep.
else to add.
Nope,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not the
guys are-
strongest.
You're making it easy on the orcs is here, so that's in the hit point. So he's
The
still
orcsies.
14 hit point. Okay, good. Now we're back in front to Inga. You see the
Look
one
around who's the
yeah.
closest to it.
Yeah, well, the one running away is probably just as close as the chieftain, probably, because they're probably all about, maybe 10. Like I said, this all happens within seconds, so this is probably.
I turn
10 feet
around,
away.
start screaming again, and run towards the chieftain and try to hit him.
Okay. He has, like I mentioned before, he has a armor class of 15 with his.
I rolled a 15. Does that mean I miss?
No, that means you hit.
That means
hit?
you just hit. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Like you
Yeah.
need to reach the
Roll
armor
for
class.
damage.
That's 7 damage.
Wow.
Holy.
Oh,
He is looking, as I like to quote another famous DM, he's looking pretty bad. He's looking pretty bad, and he's just kind of breathing heavily, holding on, looking around for help, but there's, of course, no one coming, none of the thing, and you just hear him scream out, Tala, help us! Help us! Thy servants are being attacked!
oh boy.
And that's all he does.
Uh-oh.
He's getting the mama to play with us.
The mama.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, that's my turn.
That's your turn. Okay. Then it's Fulgrim's turn.
Well, I'm gonna attack the chieftain again. Is he? Can I use my sneak attack now as he's attacking Inga at the moment, or?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah. Sure.
Engaged with her, yeah.
So can I? If I do 2 attacks, is it twice a sneak attack?
That's a good question. Yeah. Why not? I'll let it go.
Yeah, first one is an 8.
Him allows.
Second
Yeah.
one is a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Sneak attack gives me 1d6, right? If I'm
Alright.
An additional-
not mistaken. Yeah.
Are you like a rogue or something?
I am indeed. That's 2
Go
plus
kill him, bro.
3 plus 9.
I
Damn
can
it.
again quote another famous DM, which you hear on this channel every once in a while. How you wanna do this?
Ooh, I'm gonna miss my first swing with the dagger, and the other one goes from the underside of the in his neck into his brain.
Okay.
Before he realizes the last. his
Before
last
he
thought
realizes
is, oh,
the
he
last-
missed. And he's
Last
dead.
thought is he with the miss he kind of starts into kind of a laugh and he says and no way else to ding falling down with a blade in his brain. You have killed him. And he loses his turn, by the way. That way. Yeah. Which brings us to the imp, who ran away and is probably still running. Let me see. Yeah, he doesn't turn around. He keeps running. So he's probably out of your reach by now then. And it comes to Yorith.
Then I shall again strike the guy in front of me.
The Schnaga.
The Schnager. That's better.
Aye.
It is a 15.
That hits. Damage.
1.
You're really
The
you're having
longsword
fun.
is not my best weapon.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not good at
obviously
melee.
not either,
Well,
because you
Yeah, well,
tangled yourself.
the Snaga, the blade nicks him on the side of his arm and just kind of goes, ow! You know?
He's just too fucking short.
Yeah. He goes, ow! And releases some kind of orcish curse which you can't translate.
Oh, I thought some gas. Because he's scared.
Babuskomsky.
Something like that. Then we are back to Inga.
I look to Yorif. How far away is she?
You ran 20, then they came closer to... So it's probably about 10 now. It's 10
Okay.
between you and the Snaga and Yorith, because they're involved. And the imp is probably taken off. You don't see him anymore.
Then I spin around and try to flank with Yorif.
Mhm.
Which means advantage, right?
Aye.
I try to hit him
Okay.
with a 17 should hit, right?
Definitely.
And that's even 9 damage.
9 damage?
Yes.
How do you want to do this?
I want to decapitate him.
Yes, because he had exactly 9 points left. Very well. The Snaga doesn't even see the blow coming, thinks it kind of missed him, and you just see 2 big eyes open up, and the mouth, and that expression rolls in front of you and stays on his face while he looks up, still astonished at what happened. And you have killed the last of the goblins slash orcs, and the one which took off is probably still running down that lane where they were headed.
I'm just gonna nod to Inga. And thanks. Because that fucker hit me pretty bad.
Inga is super happy that she managed to decapitate the orc, goblin, whatever. She's just like, yes!
Yes, very well done too. So let me see how I did. Yes. There we are. Using books today, so kind of okay. Good. Yeah. So look around. You have 2 spilled buckets of blood, some meat that's lying around from animals you don't know or whatever creatures. and a dead chieftain, a headless body of a Snaga orc,
And one that's running
Yeah.
away.
and one which ran away, and you don't know where he hid off
We
to.
don't
But
know where he was because I was
yeah, well,
just-
he head down towards this gravel road which they were walking.
Yeah,
which
I would
heads
just
toward the
shout
north.
like follow him.
Yeah. I would run after him as well.
Okay.
Don't wait for me, I'm just licking my wounds. Changing
Limping.
back,
Okay.
sheathing my sword again.
Let me see. Okay. Okay, so you leave everything there, take off. I have to see very fast now where it goes on. Yes, so you run after him, and of course, since you're running quicker than you see, after a while, you see lying in the middle. Looks like in the middle of a road, something. It's there seems to be a standing stone with runes on it, and the this wounded orc is just sitting on this stone, resting and panting, and not thinking that he's that you guys were going to be going after him. So he's just sitting there.
Where should
Oh,
we
but-
sneak?
He hasn't seen you yet. He's just sitting there. He's got no weapons or anything. He dropped everything. He's just kind of holding that wound which he got, and just kind of looking at his hand every once in a while and trying to put the blood or guts or whatever back in, and shaking his hand. It's just kind of he's really kind of flabbergasted.
Could we try and talk to him to find out a bit more what they are doing here? That far west?
I have a couple of questions as well.
I'll try and circle around, so in case he tries to run off, that I'm maybe able to intercept him and catch him.
Okay. So you sneak around.
Yes.
You
You want
circle him?
a sneak roll?
No, I think you're good. I think you don't have to roll because like I said, these and he's more interested in his bleeding side than anything else. He's definitely not. He definitely was not the hero warrior of the bunch. He's considered what the goblins might consider or the orcs might consider an imp, because he's still very young. So he definitely was just, even Snagas are like slaves to the Uruks, to the larger orcs. So this is just, he was even, he even probably listened to what the Snaga told him. So he's just a young kid, more or less, as an orc. So the other ones, are you approaching him or talking to him, or what do you plan on doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Fulgrim's lead.
Well, then I just clonk right through the middle.
Okay. He looks up, sees, of course, Inga, and recognizes the blade which cut him, and he turns around, wants to run off to one corner, then he sees Fulgrim standing there, and he just falls on his knees and says, "Oh, Tola, help us! I surrender!" And he starts just crying there, weeping through his on his stinky hide, and just kind of lying in front of you there, a pitiful mess. What do you want to do?
What is a Taula?
You talking to me?
Yes, obviously.
Taula is not a Taula. It's the Taula, the one and only Taula. It's our god.
But what is it? I never heard that before.
Taula watches us. Taula makes sure we don't have to go back to Sharky. Taula's good to us. We bring Taula blood, and Taula takes care of us. We don't have to go back. Taula even took care of the orcs that came from Isengard, who wanted to take us back to Sharky. Taula has his eyes everywhere.
What does Taula look like?
Oh, Taula is the biggest god you've ever seen. Taula, well, I can take you to Taula. He kind of opens up his eyes and kind of, as if it's the greatest idea that you've ever heard said, offers you. I'll take you to Taula. He's at the guard tower. And he points down at the stone which he's standing on. You can read in the standing stone in common runes the sign of 3 miles to the old guard tower. So this seems to be a guard tower which used to be there.
I would also ask him if, like, are there any more of you? Because I'm looking for a band of orcs that have recently butchered a troop of Dunedain. What do you know, Runt?
There were many of us. The Eye sent us back then. The Eye sent us, and we were to go to work for Sharky. And I think we were. What do the men from? What do the horse boys call it again?
I slap him in the face.
Sorry, the lords of Ruhan, Ruran, the lords. They call it, yes, tribute. I think we were meant as tribute, and it was me, and there was Fickwick and Drog and Dorkish and Thog and Azuk. Well, probably was maybe about, I don't. And he holds up his hands. Twice these, and he sees it on his hands because he can't count. He just kind of makes maybe like 20 of them, which were sent. But it's just the 3 of us we took off, and I hope that Vidzik doesn't catch me now because I ran off, and he's our chief, you know, and yeah, but. If he won't show you, I'll show you, Towler. No problem. Just let me live. I'll show you, Towler. No problem whatsoever. You know, but Towler's good.
But the company that you've been in, these other orcs, you did see or you did partake in the skirmish with some Dunedain.
Well, I know that Sharky. Pardon, our master back then, when he was still our master before we took off, he sent some of his big ones. He calls them Uruks. He sent the big Uruks to do all of that. We really were only sent for patrols and things like that, and that's why we left. We didn't want to do patrolling anymore. And then when we found this area, and we were always on the run, but then we found Taula, and Taula says that he can watch over us as long as we bring him fresh blood, 3 buckets a day, and everything will be as best, and he will watch over us. Taula watches us, but pardon, Madam Ranger, I never fought any other rangers.
How many Uruks are north up here in Breeland?
Well, Sharky's been. We don't really know exactly how many came from the east with us, and there's been groups of us orcs coming from the Eye. The Eye sent us as I say, tribute, and as to help the Lord, the Master, to do his work. And
What exactly is this work?
Well, I really don't know exactly. I don't know, but there's a lot of things. They say he's a wizard, and I just see there's a lot of smoke, and he's been working on all kinds of. He has us starting to cut down trees which are surrounding his tower there, and it's still everything's still very green, and he keeps up a good thing, and he does still meet up with he has people who work in the land of the horse, the land of the Ruhan, and but I don't know what he does. I'm just, and he starts to cry.
Then take us to Tauler.
I'll just think. Oh, I can take you to Tauler. Yeah. Oh, you will see how enormous, great Tauler is, and maybe Tauler will protect you too if you need protection. And he says, "Follow me, and he kind of holds on the side where he's been hit, and he seems to be getting weak. Seems to be getting weak by the moment, but he still holds on to the side and holds in his bleeding there, and he is very gravely wounded, but he seems to be able to walk or hobble in front to show you the way, and he heads down the path, keep waving to you. Come, I'll take you to Tauler. So do you want to follow this weird, strange little thing? Then let me see what the road down. So like I said, this is kind of a gravel road. It leads down towards a little bit it looks like it's going out of the woods towards, but deeper into the woods, but at the same time, you can see now more and more light coming through. The rain has seemed to stop. And according to this thing, it's 3 miles to the guard tower. So, and if you believe the this imp, Tauler, whoever or whatever that is at the guard tower.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep up the rear. Then.
Okay. So you continue on the road, and it gets a little bit harder to come across because mixed into the moss, which is hanging from the trees. A lot of these trees seem to be kind of dead trees, and this moss is kind of hanging down from the trees, and mixed in with the moss seems to be kind of thick strands of looks like cobwebs, which is mixed in there with this moss. So 1 moment, I need to. There we go. So, yes. So you head down this gravelly road, and after a while of probably about a mile, you see another rune stone with the rune 2 engraved on it, and an arrow pointing more towards on this, and the imp says, "Yeah, we're right here. This way," and he hurries off down the overgrown road, and he as he keeps going, you notice on top of you, it looks like something which is stuck in the tree. It looks like like a bundle which has been wrapped up. It could be webbing because there is still kind of cobwebs there, and it looks like like something a spider might have crawled up, but it's too big to be an animal. It's kind of bundled up, and
I want to whisper to the other two. Has it ever occurred to you that he might be leading us into a trap?
I don't think he's smart enough.
Don't worry about these things. These are just there's they're everywhere, you know. And you keep around, and if you want to check, you see another one of these bundles hanging low across the road, and you can just see it. You know, it's close enough for you to poke or something if you want to.
No, I don't want to disturb anything.
Okay. Okay. It looks like once you pass it, it looks like it could have been sticking out. It looks like pig's feet. Could be a wild boar, which was in there, but it seems to be kind of like drawn, empty, just like an empty carcass. You know? So you continue on, and you come across. A moment, I need to load up what you see. The opening, it opens up onto, you see what used to be a guard tower. You don't know how old this is, if this was here before the people from Bree were there. Maybe this goes back to old ages. And there is on... One moment. I have to get back up here so I can send you something. Here we are. On top of this... Here we are. The imp falls to his knees, and kind of like as if falling in front of a god, in front of this tower, he just says, "Behold, Taula the Great!" And you behold Taula. I hope it did arrive. Ken, did it?
Still sending, typing, whatever.
Okay. One moment.
Did you press enter yet?
I did press enter. Why didn't it not work? Here we
there
go.
we
Yes.
go.
There we go.
So,
Yay!
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 On top of the guard tower, which used to be known as the Milfort Station, which was once a way station, and used to also be a fortified inn there where travelers could rest in safety and recover before continuing. And it used to be like a mill, and the forest stream flows past the back of the fortress, and a small mill wheel once turned there. Today the mill wheel, of course, is long gone. This tower has fallen down, and the outer walls are still mostly intact. And on the squat drum-shaped tower, which just has a door opening on the bottom, and a round of webbing and all kinds of old spider cobwebs, is an absolutely gigantic spider sleeping on top of it. Spider, the thing says, "Yes, oh yes, Taula is alive. Taula watches us. Taula takes care of us." It's the biggest spider that the companions have ever seen. Is sprawled across the top of the tower. The monster is at least 15 feet across, with huge hairy legs dangling over the edge. And I'm trying to see, does anybody have region lore or history of this region? Maybe also the region close to Rohan, so maybe a history check from the Rovanian region might help. Maybe so I might be able to tell you more.
I can try a history check. Or
Definitely the monstrous spider clearly feasted on boars and on blood. You see empty buckets of which looks like it's kind of like a little pulley system that looks like that either the orcs or someone else has been pulling up this blood and just kind of spilling it on top of the tower for the spider to feast on. Also, small pieces of meat, which is left over, and it looks like now it's sleeping off a heavy meal. Either it's not much awake, or probably maybe even still sleeping, and you have the feeling that you're being watched by the many eyes, but it's hard to tell with glassy eyes of spiders. So
It's just too fucking full to move.
there's too many, yeah. So it could be that he's too fat and too full to move, because he's not moving. It's just, just plopped there. So does
Maybe
anybody?
we should turn around where we still can.
Does it
Yeah.
maybe seem sick or something? Or just tired?
Well, you do see that in patches where the spider fur is.
Like, I don't know, do we see like blood or something, or wounds or whatever? Something
No,
like
you
that?
don't see wounds, but you do see that of the 8 legs, only 5 of them still seem to be kind of holding on in front. The 2 in the back are just hanging loosely. One seems to be had to be torn off. It looks like he has battle wounds of some kind. Parts of the furry places have been burnt away. So it looks like, and since this is Tauler, as the imp said, looks like Tauler has had a hard life, a hard battle life, and yeah. So does anybody else have a history check now? Were we able to?
I have 17 in total.
Well, 17 is good.
And do
Let
we know like how far away the nearest like settlement or whatever is from here?
Yeah. Let me just turn on the light very fast because
Yeah.
it is getting too dark even for Tauler. One moment.
Even for Doubler.
Yeah. The lore master can't read his lore in the dark. I had to light some more candles. All right. So with a 17, you remember some stories which were told in and around the Rohan. The next settlement would probably be, the largest settlement probably would be Bree.
And how far
You
away
know?
is that? Roughly? in miles?
Let me see. Lord, here's the Breeland region. One moment. I have to look it up. You are in, here we are. This is Bree. You headed down past Stadel and Archer, down the east road, up towards, you are now in the Chetwood, and the Midgewater Marshes are to the east, the Weather Hills are to the north, and probably the closest, largest settlement would be Archet, which is north of Bree. There's Archet, then comes Combe, Stadel, and then Bree again. So this is the woods, north of the woods that Harry had been patrolling. So this is deep into the Chetwood. And yeah, so
Because I'm just thinking in terms of like danger level. But Dunedain would be, if this is like too close to a settlement, then that's bad.
No,
but if
no,
this is, like,
no.
deep inside, then
Oh,
whatever.
Tauler is deep inside the woods, and let me give you some interesting information. Known as Tauler the Hunter. This is one of the 3 children of Shelob the Great, who have become now the lords of the giant spiders in Mirkwood, in the Old Forest, and the neighboring regions. Tauler seemed to have taken himself back and away and seems to be very old, and probably used to be also very evil. But Tauler is so ancient, he has survived great battles. And in the end, a group of elves, rangers, and men managed to force the great spider by lighting him on fire. Severely wounded, Tauler took back to live amongst the ruins. He's now old, scarred, half blind, and he can hardly hunt and hardly move, and is just waiting, more or less, for his death. But is still a ferocious foe, and probably too strong for you. And this seems to be the new god that the orcs or the goblins have been worshipping. They feed Taller blood, small animals, and once in a while, maybe even in hostage Isengard now and again, that come looking for the deserters. Taller seems to be sleeping. Underneath Taller is a door, which is ajar, stands open to the tower. And the little imp is just lying on his floor and more or less, oh, great Taller, just kind of cowering in front of him, and seems to be more, not afraid of Taller, but more disgusted at the idea that he dropped the blood that he had been bringing. Oh, I'm sorry, I brought... But Taller is not moving.
I would maybe try to like slowly, stealthily approach the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
Peek inside to see if we see anything.
Okay.
Maybe there's some stairs leading up to its belly.
That could be. So, do you all three of you kind of slip in underneath? You know, just kind of.
No, I don't want to get close to that spider.
You're not gonna go. You're gonna stay. So is
I'm
it
also
just,
gonna stay.
okay? So you two stay
And
and have an eye on your little hostage there, and Yorith slips by underneath the legs of, but it's kind of a creepy feeling because as you creep underneath, you just kind of look up Yorith and you see the fangs that probably used to be dripping with poison. They seem really dry. Around what you might think is the mouth, you still see some fresh blood, like maybe it has eaten in the last day or so. But everything else, the eyes look like, some of them look like they're like cataracts, you know, they're all gray. So you're really not too sure if Taller is just dead or just sleeping. Or the verge of death. So, but you do manage to slip by the spider, and inside the tower on which Taller rests, you find pens of still live animals, probably some of them stolen from Farmer Hayward. You see a small pen with 2 sheep and a goat. There's a half a dozen chickens and some geese in there.
I release all of them. I just
Okay.
open the stuff and shush them out.
Yeah. You also find a storage of urns filled with grain, dried fruit. Some have wine in them, and it's already packed and bears the runes and the horse crest of Rohan. So this is probably stuff that was stolen from Hayward, which he wanted to trade with the Rohirrim.
Okay.
And amidst the treasure, there sits, let me get a picture for you once again. Amidst the treasure, there is another little visitor. Where is he? Oh, heck. Oh, no, I can't. That's true. I couldn't get that. Okay, that's not too bad. Amidst the treasure, there sits a big-eared goblin. He's dressed in a filthy, it looks like a ceremonial robe, which has like a spider painted on it, like something which only an orc would probably do, like probably some old ragged bed sheet or something, which, and he doesn't seem to have any weapons or anything, but when you start releasing the animals, he has a broom next to him, and he just waves it at you. He waves it at you and says, "Get thee hence! Howler will feed on you if I tell him. I'm a mighty wizard. I can turn you into an elf." And just kind of waves around and thinks that you can, that he can scare you away, but
I'm just gonna like grab one of the packages with the Rohirrim sign on it,
Yep.
and will like ignore him and walk back out alongside the animals.
Yeah, you better leave. You better leave. I tell you that your ranger no good for nothing. Shits. You're always sticking your noses into things. Tyler's gonna take over this whole region sooner or later. And I'm a wizard. I'm stronger than Sharky. I tell you, I'll make my broom fly around your brains
And he just keeps going on and on and on.
I'm
You
guessing
know.
the
And,
other two hear this as well.
oh yes, they say, "What the hell is that?"
Because
you
I
know?
come outside and I hand like the package to Fulgrim.
Yeah.
They said,
What?
"It seems like
What
this
is
is
that?
this is some of the shipment that your people have lost up here."
Lost.
Well, it's you know,
It was stolen, definitely.
either way, there's like a crazy orc or goblin inside, shushing me out with a broom. There were
Once-
a bunch of animals as well.
Once the imp hears the screaming, he looks up and he says, "Viswick, be quiet! These are great warriors. They have come to worship Tola. Be quiet!" Ah! Fuck them great warriors! I'm the wizard here. I'm the one who feeds Towler. I have the power. Will you be quiet? Stop it! Stop it right now! And he sprints past you guys and kind of jumps on top of this thing, takes away the broom and starts beating the other goblin over the head with it and telling him to shut up. And the two of them just kind of make a ruckus and are loud and flitting around and fighting. And you notice amongst all this ruckus that Taula kind of lifts just one leg, and you don't know how it is, but it seems to be an awareness reaching out to you. Not speaking, or not. It's kind of a magic, but you just kind of like an awareness which is looking for attention, and it's kind of a feeling of like, who are you? Just this kind of a. And all three of you hear in your mind, once again, a deep, kind of a soothing voice, maybe like a grandfather, just kind of saying again, who are you?
I look
And the other two are fighting in the town. They don't hear this. They're like, shut up, give me back my room.
Well, I'm a ranger from the local region of the Dunedain. What are you?
I am Taula the Great, also known as Taula the Hunter.
You all hear this in your voice. It's like echoing, as if this spider doesn't seem to have much power, but you notice that it's a keen mind which magically is reaching out and talking with you through some kind of like an animal speak or something, like, which is kind of the thing. Taller continues.
I have had a long life, and I've been able to prolong this life with the blood of offerings, which these creatures have brought me. I used to be a warrior, and I thought that I would die a warrior's death by elven arrow or a Numenorian blade. But I have grown weary. I can talk with you in the common speech, but this is easier for me. I only have one pleasure: to take as much of the light of the world away and to devour it within me.
That gives me power, but it also brings me closer to death. The light which brings me darkness.
Shouldn't you be thinking about retiring, maybe, for good? I mean, with your age and everything. We don't have elven arrows or Numenorian blades, but we can sure as hell help you along the way to find some rest, which is well deserved, I'm sure.
You all hear inside your mind, rest. And kind of a laughter. Well, like I said, it doesn't sound like a bestial tone. This is like a very noble voice, a very noble and aged ancient thing. You notice that this taller is it's not really, you don't really feel the evilness. You just kind of, it's a sadness which kind of feel. Yes, rest. I wanted to rest long ago. Even my grandsiress, when Shelob the Great took away, past the Christates of Kilithongal, where she still lies await. I am the last of her children, and yes, I have deserved rest. But I can only find rest by devouring light. Give me light so I can find the ultimate darkness. Have you, then he asks again, have you brought me light? Have you brought me either the elven or the dwarven light?
I light up my hooded lantern.
Oh.
We don't have anything on us, I think.
Caller sees the light from your lantern, and you now notice that of all the cluster of eyes, maybe 5 of them are really reflecting this shiny light. And you hear the voice say, "Oh, that is beautiful, child, but that is not the light which feeds the children of Ungoliant. We need the gems. We live off the light of gemstones. And if I can devour enough gemstones, be it 2 or maybe 3, then I can probably take my way back, have enough power and strength to crawl up this tree on top of this tower and to finally wait for death."
Gemstones?
Gemstones.
We don't have any gemstones.
I don't
on
think that's
us.
how gemstones work.
I don't know if the Rohirrim have any in these packages. What was that lost shipment?
Did you lost shipment? I don't know. Who else could have been having gemstones to bring or to feed? Maybe Tauler. Who could have had something like that? Who has been taking care of, been running errands for Tauler?
Do you think the orcs had something like that?
You didn't search them.
Yo, wizard!
You didn't search them. You just left. But yo, wizard.
Who calls the great Fizzywig, the one and only wizard, the master of the broom? And yes, what do you need?
Do you
What can I do for
are
you?
you hoarding anything of value? Any gems in particular?
Gems, and all of a sudden you see him drop to one knee and lift his hand. Gems belong to Taula. Taula begets all the gems. When we find gems, we feed it to the god, so that the god will get power.
Yes, I draw my bow and I ask him, I'm either going to feed him gems or you, so please answer the question. Do you have any gems on you?
While he's kind of looking around and trying to get out of the situation, The imp's holding his side and says, "Well, I know the chief had gems. He always had them in his helmet. He had them on top of his helmet because he said he's saving him. He's saving him from things. He got him from this farm. This farm which we ransacked a little while back. There were stones. There was a crate, and it had a horse on it, and it had, I think it was four gemstones in it, and some gold and some silver, and but I don't know if the chief brought him back or not. We'd have to look and see."
Fulgrim, do you want to open your package?
Well, yeah, I can look into the package that you gave me.
If there's anything in there in the...
Which package was this again? Help me.
Like one of the ones that was inside the tower with the horse.
Oh, on the tower, yes. Oh, you gave that to him. Yes.
I took one to show him that there's like more inside.
Yeah, there's more. There's about 4 little crates which has the horse stamp on them. So you open yours? The one which you have?
Yeah, look.
Yeah, you open it up, and it has about 30 silver pieces in it.
Well, no gemstones, unfortunately.
Then I would start opening more.
Pack it back up.
Of the other crates inside.
You hear the voice of Towler speaking to you. "The creatures told me that they would find me light, and that the horses might have light for me, whatever they meant with that." So you go underneath Towler's legs, and you just kind of see these eyes follow you, but he doesn't do anything. And you open up the other 3 crates. One has, it looks like a set of like not a rein, but something which you like a bridle, a very nice bridle made of gold, which is which you might use for a horse. Then the other crate seems to have been already broken up. There's just hay in it. And in the last crate you open up, you find 4 gems which look like larger. The one looks like it could be a larger gem, like almost like a diamond. The other one could be a sapphire. But there's 4 different colored gems in there, which are just on top of hay. And they're probably definitely worth a whole bunch of gold.
I mean, the people of Archit or Bree could live for weeks or months. Probably.
Yeah, if you could find someone to buy them off him. And the inside your mind, all of a sudden you hear, "Ranger, I read your mind. I read your thoughts, and I see through your eyes. The creatures did find gemstones. Bring them to me. Bring them to me now."
Yeah, I take the gems, and I walk back to the others.
Okay. As you walk underneath Towler, you just kind of see a kind of like a shudder go through this huge spidery body and lift 1 or 2 legs, but whatever it is, it just looks like he is absolutely pooped. There's no way that he can move on his own. And you hear Towler say, "Yes, yes, I know that I am dying. I know that death will come to me if I can yet just move with the help of the light up into the trees and then spin my last web and wait for death to get me. I will give you free passage for these gemstones if you give them to me."
I don't know, what do the others think? I'm not inclined to give it to him. Because I don't think that it's going to finish him off.
I read your mind, Ranger. You're thinking of taking them for yourself. Give them to me, and you shall have safe passage, and my minions and none of my children shall attack you. I will let you leave here, unharmed, so you can leave me to die alone if you leave these gems to me. Choose treasure and choose death. Give it to
I
me.
don't think we should anger him.
Give me light so that I can find darkness.
Also, we don't need the gems, and the people are probably happy as soon as all the thieving of the animals stops.
I know, but have you ever thought about if there's any truth to what this beast is saying about eating gems or whatever, consuming them? What if he jumps up and suddenly he's all fit again and kills us anyway? When have you ever taken the word of an Ungoliant or whatever they're called?
Yeah, she's a. Oh well,
He
Ungoliant was the
original.
the mother of all the tribes. Also, the mother of Shelob, and
Yeah,
so it was his.
of an Ungoliant's child.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems like an honest spider.
Haven't you heard about the stories of Tauler the Great and with the evil that he's done in his prime?
You hear the voice again in your mind. Ranger, don't change the stories of history. I was attacked in my prime. Elves burned me. Men burned me. I was left for dead and undying with a curse, so that I can only find the dark if I consume enough light. There is not much light left of this world which I can consume. But I will tell you, and this is not a threat, but my dominions and my children will come to consume me after my death. Yet it be better for them to consume me than to consume you.
Well, these gems belong to the Rohirrim, so I hand them to Fulgrim. So the Rohirrim should decide what to do with this charge.
Sure, pass the responsibility.
Yep.
While you're talking, you hear rustling around you in the branches. The broom thing gives the imp a kick in the nuts and stands up and says, "Yes! Yes! The children are coming! How nice! A family reunion! It has been years! Come! Come! Father Tauler wants you all to come!" And you more or less hear a twanging of a branch once in a while. You hear, so it seems like something is moving in the bushes and in the trees up around you, which you can't see too much of because they're all spun with cobwebs and stuff like that.
I don't like this.
Once again, you hear the voice of Tauler, now getting tired, very tired, saying, "Ranger, Rohirrim, child of the North, don't toy with me. I don't have the strength to toy, but my children have the strength to fight for me. Give me the light so that I may go into the darkness. Leave me to die alone now." And
I'm
come
all for
back.
giving you all the crunchy, yummy gems. Don't bring me into this.
I have my bow ready. I'm just looking at Fulgrim.
Up towards the, let me see. 1, 2, yep, behind Yorith. Behind Yorith, if you look behind you, you see branches opening up and a cluster of shiny eyes looking down upon you.
Yeah, I just hear it. I'm not gonna like the it's right behind me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the thing. And then,
I'm not gonna look.
and wait a minute. Yeah, Inga looks up too and sees a similar thing. You see, like two, probably not tentacles, but something like legs, part bushes, and another multifaceted head poke through, which kind of resembles in a smaller version, not as big as Towler, but it just seemed to be like a giant spider looking down. And behind Fulgrim in the bushes on the ground, something is also slowly coming closer, and you hear kind of rattling and rustling of the bushes from that side as well.
I'll take one of the gems and throw it at Towler. Towler's mouth region.
Very interesting how quick this old spider can react. Like the old webbing or something which is caught in the front legs jerks up and catches this gem and automatically brings it towards this area which looks like a mouth which is protruding there, and you hear the crunching and breaking of rock, and you hear the voice, like a joyful voice in your mind saying, "Oh yes, that is the light. That is the light which will take me into the dark. Yes, I need more. I need more." And he's kind of lifts this bulk up a little bit, but collapses again. And the crunching and noises stop. So whatever is coming closer does not come closer at the moment.
Well, to be honest, I don't really care about the Breeland, and if a spider is loose here, my main goal is to get back to Rohan to let the king know about this. What's going on with the Saruman and his weird orcs and goblins, and with that I throw the other gems.
You think you can outrun this thing and ever make it home?
Howler greedily falls, in front and catches them, and one jumps aside, but the little imp with the broom thing kind of lifts it up and says, here master, and throws it back up. So and sees they're kind of clapping and applauding. Yes. And as Towler's devoured the last of the gems, suddenly everything which was looking at you or something kind of goes away, and everything, you seem like you're being, but you're not being surrounded. It looks like things are going around you, and you see as Towler lifts itself up, and then you see how enormous the spider meister used to be. But at the same time, up the side of the tower, through the bushes, on top of Towler, it looks like this might be his brood or something, whatever. These children that he were talking about. The spiders are, some are about the size of, there's like normal spider sizes, then there's some which are maybe the size of tarantulas, some are size of small dogs, and one or two of them about the size of like a big pig. And they're all crawling, they seem to crawl on top of Towler and start to gnaw as if they're slowly eating away at Towler. And the last thing that you hear in your mind is a feeling of thanks, and you hear, "You may go."
go back the same way to the road, and then head to the southwest, and you will come out of the woods. My children will not follow you. My children will perish with me as they eat the light which is taking us all to the dark. And you just see that then slowly Tauler falls in itself, and all these spiders that have been crawling away as if suddenly paralyzed or something all fall on top of him. There's a rumbling like an earthquake, and the top of the tower with Tauler and all the spiders on top falls down, crunches, collapses, killing both goblins inside, falling on top of everything which was in there. Luckily, you let all the things out. You let all the animals out, and you took out the gold and the silver, but everything else, the wine and whatever else was in there, just falls on top, and the earth opens up as if like a rift itself, and the tower, all the Tauler, the spider, all collapses in there, and you just see like a hole in the ground, which everything just lies dead, and the dust and debris and the rocks of the tower fall on top of it. And that seems to be the end of Tauler and many other creatures that were there, and sadly also the imps and that funny wizard goblin. And you're left there in dusty ruins and a few boxes, one crate with 30 silver, one crate with a golden bridle, and what was the other one? Yeah, the gems, and the other one was broken. Yeah, that was it. That's what's left. And if you believe Tauler, then the free passage will take you back across down towards through the wooded area which you came, and then if you head south down, let's see, south, and yeah, you should be able to get back into the Chetwood and the Archet Woods.
That was probably the weirdest thing I ever saw.
I didn't know.
I agree.
Rohirrim gemstones had it in them.
We should go back the way we came so we can check out the leader of the goblin guys, because apparently he also had some gems, right?
That's what the other guy said. They said that he was collecting these.
We could do that, yes.
I would like to play the fastest way back to Bree. I need to go back to Rohan.
You have to get your horsey too, yeah.
Yes.
So you head back down, and you do find the goblin, the rest of the goblin, the orcs lying there, and on top of his head there's a helm and a helmet. And remembering what the one guy said, you unstrap it, and you do find which looks like 3 large rubies in the helmet, wrapped up in a dirty cloth. And yeah, so
each one of us can take one of them.
Each of us gets a large gemstone, a large ruby. I'd have to look up what it's worth, but it's a large ruby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then we make our way back towards.
Let's go home, yeah.
Yeah, so you make your way back home. I'm going to hurry things up a bit because nothing really happens in the meantime, except you meet an old friend. Once you hit the Archet area, Old Harry comes across right about there where you heading back, where you met up with the bandits. And he says, "Well, I've been looking everywhere. I tell you what, I couldn't find much. I think I've seen a few orcs before, which might be there, but I still didn't. Were you lucky? Have you found out what has been causing this death and debris?"
an ancient evil that we managed to disperse after some discussion. And a bunch of goblins. They were mostly more or less killing off the wildlife and feeding this ancient evil offerings.
So there is something happening. And I wonder if it is true that something is coming. They seem to be coming from the east. I don't know. So that if you listen to some of the tales that they've been coming towards the east and coming always and always closer to us, to the western lands. I'm going to have to talk with the other foresters about this too. Did you find any of Farmer Hayward's things?
Well, a bunch of animals that we released, yes.
Oh, if they'll probably find their way home because they used to. Old Hayward feeds them well. They'll probably find their way back. If not, I'll keep my eyes open. If I find a goose or a gander, I'll make sure that Hayward gets them.
Well, Harry, I mean, I myself have been tasked with also finding out more about what these orcs and goblins are dealing with in these regions. So perhaps if my friends are fine with that, maybe we should say farewell and I could join you and we would together investigate further into this matter and what's been going on.
You know what, Yorith? I think that's a very good idea. Because you know what? Believe it or not, I have had the tiles with the talk with old Bombadil himself once in a while. And according to him, one very wise of the White Council, Mithrandir. I know him as Gandalf, who's a friend to the Rangers. He is to be wandering the Breelands again, and maybe he'll wander across Bree himself, and we can maybe get some more information from him.
Maybe he
because
has the answers I seek.
If there's a wise man that ever walked, then Gandalf is the one who might have the answers for us. But if you're be coming with me, the other ones will be returning. I believe, friend Fulgrim, don't you have your horse yet in Bree?
Yes, that is my intention, to return to Bree and then return to Rohan.
Yes, and I think that the Grey Pilgrim is known in Rohan, and King Thengel has always welcomed him well. If there be any news, then he will be visiting your borders very soon with more news about what is happening in the east. And Child of the North, with your keen blade, will you be returning to Farmer Hayward and letting him know that things are all well again, and that luckily he'll be able to get started again with his Lieferungen.
Deliveries.
With his deliveries, thank you. With his deliveries of animals and stored goods to Rohan. Or will you be heading back as well to your lands? Inga.
Well, I can do that. I've got nothing planned so far, so sure.
Oh, because that would be good, because then I can head out with Yorith. We will go up north to where the Rangers are, and as soon as Fulgrim gets his horse, he can head back to Rohan. And if you let Hayward know that everything is taken well of, then I would say that adventure has come to an end. That you have definitely, and I have a feeling that if you might still have a reward waiting for you at Hayward's home. He's definitely is someone who does not let good deeds go well. He doesn't have much coin, but maybe he might have something else for you.
Well, Inga, I will wish you farewell and hope that you find what you are looking for. And Fulgrim, I do hope you make it back home safely with your horse.
I don't doubt that my horse will take me home safely. I wish you two safe travels.
Keep those borders safe. May we meet again soon.
And so Yorith slips away with Harry Talltree
It has
into
been
the
a
woods,
pleasure.
chatting and talking amidst and telling all about what she has seen. It only takes an hour or two for you to return back to Bree. And as you come to the Prancing Pony, it's slowly getting evening. Old Barnabas is standing out and says, "Oh, that you're finally back. I tell you one thing, that horse of yours, he's a spirit and a half. I think he's been afraid of missing you, or that you might be leaving him. But we've been feeding him well, and he's waiting for you in the stable. And young mistress with your keen blade, I have someone here who wants to talk to you as well." And as you enter the probably Fulgrim probably will go head to the stable right away.
Yes.
And standing right next to old Barnabas is Hayward, and you tell him all about what had happened, and he just says, "Oh, blessed be the stars under which you people roam. I'm so glad. Now I can finally get back to starting my business, getting everything up. I can't give you much," but he goes inside and he picks out a small sack, which looks like 30 silver, and he says, "I don't see your ranger friend, and I know that the Rohirrim is back in the horse, but this here is what I have gotten from King Thangol myself." He gives 3 Rohirrim coins to you so that you might give them. Their golden coins, and they look more like medals. It's like something which you might get if which you might show as a friend of the Rohirrim, something like a pass or something. But it's a coin. On one side it has the face of King Thangol and a crown and some numbers, and on the other side it's a horse running on an open field. And he also gives you 3 daggers of an unknown origin, but they do look elvish, and he says, I traded these a year ago. I don't need daggers. Daggers can't make cornrows, so you might as well have them. And may they be. I was told that they're elven, and with these leaves on them, they're probably an elven blade, very well made. So please take this as a thank you for all your help.
They are pretty, thank you very much. I will take good care of them.
Well then, just join me for another beer here at all before you're on your way. Please have an ale with me, and we'll toast to better times than the ones that have passed us now.
Toast.
So you return with him. Fulgrim, happy to have met his horse, probably also will join in with for an ale.
Yeah, sure, before I head out.
And while you're sitting there, in walks old Harry Talltree and Yorith, because somehow he had a feeling that you might be getting a reward or something, and he kind of nudged Yorith. "We probably should go back to the Bree for an ale first before we head up north." And so you all sit down, raise your mugs, toast to the health, to Hayward's farm, his animals, and to all of Bree. And have an ale and have another ale, and if you're still having ale, you're still there tonight. And this ends our small adventure into the Middle-earth adventure campaign. And I hope that you liked the stories and the lore of Lore Master Loris. And we'll bid all a good night for tonight, and we'll now return into the shadows, smoke my pipe, drain my ale, and wait for our dungeon master, the Kenneth, to return again for the next adventure.
Yep, next week we're gonna be back to our usual Slanted Dice campaign. And yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. If you guys liked Middle Earth, let us know. Maybe we will continue this in the future. But other than that, after some weeks of pause and stuff, with stuff going on here, starting new jobs, catching COVID, and more. But we're gonna be back next week as usual, Wednesday, I think, most likely. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted.
I hope that you enjoyed listening to this, and it was my first adventure as DM, as Loris the Lore Master. I had to wing it a few times. I hope it doesn't get too, that it wasn't too obvious. But yes, I too must say, Adventures in Middle Earth, check it out. Good adventures, good book, good readings, good storylines, and I hope you had fun.
Definitely.
So without much ado, I thank my players. I thank all of you for listening. Please do everything you would always do. You know, ring that bell, push that button, follow us. Make sure that Slanted Dice is part of your world when it comes to D&D. And I bid all a good night and farewell until next time.
As Branwolf the Barbarian, who only has 6 in his head.
All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.